Hey, what's up guys, TechTime here, and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin this video, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoy my content, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be doing the camera review on the LG K22. And this is really LG's lowest budget smartphone. I don't want to say a cheap phone, but it's definitely one of their lower budget smartphone. And I decided to do a camera review because it has been requested by some people. And if you want to see something done on this phone as far as review wise, just leave it in the comment and I will definitely make sure to assess it and then see if it's worth doing or not. Okay, so let's talk about these cameras. So you have a dual camera lens on the back with the LED flash, and the cameras, the specs for it is as following. So it's a 13 megapixel main camera with a 2 megapixel macro sensor. So no telephoto, no wide angle, none of that. So if you turn the camera to its side, you will see that there is slight protrusion when it comes to this camera, which is interesting because it's not really the highest spec camera. So I think they could have made this design flat. They decided not to. So this phone will rock back and forth if you place it on a flat surface. Now the front facing camera is a 5 megapixel sensor. And yeah, that's that. So let's talk about the camera app. So the camera app is simplistic, straight to the point. If you look at my first impressions, which I will leave in the description, this phone has pretty much stock Android in it. So the camera is, as you would expect, smooth, simplistic, straight to the point, and it's snap and shoot. Now when you do snap a picture, it does take an extra second to process, so it's not really that fast when it comes to processing pictures. And right in the camera you have a couple of options. So you have your settings option, your toggle for HDR, as well as a toggle for a couple of filters, the switch between your rear and front facing camera, as well as your LED flash, whether you want to turn it on. So before I start talking about the pictures themselves, I do want to mention this. So in my camera analysis, I found that there are 3 major flaws when it comes to this camera. Now I understand that this is a phone under $100, so I cannot really judge it harshly, but at the same time, if you're buying a phone with a camera, it should have at least a camera that is usable in the 2021 world. And here are their flaws. So it lacks a lot of color, it lacks detail, and dynamic range. So you will see what I mean by that when we talk about the pictures themselves. So let's start with this first one, which is actually a decent little shot. So this kind of disproves my 3 major flaws in a way. So the color is alright. It's not as bright as I personally would like it to be, but it's definitely alright. You can see there are some shadows that are shown. The lighting, the reflection is decent, and so it doesn't really give any bokeh effect, even though I was trying to just focus on this pillar here. Well, I don't want to say it missed focus, but it definitely just put everything else in focus and didn't give us the bokeh effect that we expect. So in this picture, I tried it with another orange, with another object that is colored orange, and it did do a better job in bokeh. It kind of missed a little bit of focus on the sides, but it definitely did a better job, and the colors here are just a little bit more darker than the previous picture, and lighting did not change. So yeah, I guess it's a hit and miss there. And in my next picture, this is where I want to show you guys that how much this camera lags in color and detail. And so this is supposed to be a brown leaf. This picture looks kind of dull and unpleasing in a way, but again, I don't want to judge this phone too harshly. I know I kind of already am, but I just want to get this point across. So I know I'm kind of judging this phone harshly, even though I just said I'm not going to. But yeah, I just want to give you guys like what I think of these pictures in general. So if you look at my hand, it's the color, there's no real color on there. If you look at the leaf is missing color, it's missing detail, and yeah, that's really the story behind this phone. So in this next picture, I wanted to test out the focus because the previous couple of pictures just were not doing it. And yeah, so the theory is right. This camera does miss focus quite a bit, and it does not do a pretty good job. Now this picture here is kind of hard to figure out what the camera should focus for, so kind of understandable, kind of. And this picture here also displays a show that there is the color is just not there, really. That's the story behind this camera. It lacks color, it lacks detail, it lacks dynamic range. And taking it to the selfie camera. The selfie camera actually surprised me. It's kind of alright. in some shots it actually did a better job than the rear facing camera, which is pretty weird. So this is in the next picture, this is where the dynamic range point comes across. So if you look at this image, if you look at the sky is white. Now it was cloudy, so I can't really blame the phone for that. That's Mother Nature's fault. But the trees are just so dark, so there's no color, there's no detail on the trees. They're just plain dark. It feels like this is a painting more than a picture. And the grass, there's not a lot of green in the grass, so the grass just lacks color here, and that's that. Now in this next picture, I wanted to test something out. So I took this picture, and same problem that we've been having since the beginning: lacking color, lacking detail, lacking dynamic range. And I took it and I did some photo editing on it. Now I'm not a professional photo editor, but I know my way around things, okay? So here's what I did. Boom. So I gave it as much color as I could. I gave it as much detail as I could, so you can see that there is some dirt and debris in the car, so there's that. And yeah, so look at the previous picture and look at the picture after editing. Now I did kill the dynamic range completely, but I just said, hey, I'll sacrifice some dynamic range to bring some color back, and that'll be the end of that. Now here's my overview of the phone itself and the camera itself. Now, as I mentioned, this phone is not meant for people who are looking for a nice camera on their smartphone. This is meant to be a startup phone or a backup phone. Let's say that your phone is going through your carrier's insurance, or you have to get your phone fixed, or you have to get a phone on the fly. This is a decent little option. You can still post these pictures on social media. Now, people are going to tell that this is not really a good camera on a phone, but they're all right enough for you to do so. Now, the lack of color, the lack of detail, the lack of dynamic range is just something you're just gonna have to deal with. And overall, for the price, it's okay. You know, it's not potato quality, but I mean, it's not A+ quality either. You know, so yeah, overall, it's all right. It's an okay camera. And with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoy my content, make sure you leave a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.